Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another lesson for class 2 mathematics. Here we are going to learn today approximating to the nearest measurement unit. Now we must have to look carefully at this sentence here because in the previous lesson we discussed approximating to the nearest kilogram. When we use that word to the nearest kilogram, it means we will write the values in the full numbers like in 0, 1, 2, 3. So our answer should must be in this format. We will consider these numbers. We will ignore half, quarter, 3/4. We will ignore them when we will be rounding to the nearest kilogram. But when we have to round to the nearest measurement unit, then we can take into consideration these numbers as well, and we will write the value to whatever nearest point at that time will be. For example, in this picture you can see here, this is a mass scale. A mango is on the mass scale, and you can see the pointer of the mass scale is pointing almost to half kg. And before that, here this point is quarter kg, this is half kg, and this one is 3/4 here. This one is 3/4. Now we have to look whenever we will be rounding to the nearest measurement unit. We have to look where is the pointer. We have to look the number in between the pointer is. Like right now, this pointer is between quarter and half. It is between quarter and half. So we will consider these. I can say the pointer is near to half kg, then quarter kg. I will say it is near to half kg, then quarter kg. So of course the approximate mass in this case will be half kg because it is near to half kg. So we were not doing this in our previous lessons when we were rounding to nearest kilogram. We were considering only the full numbers like 0, 1, 2, 3. We will not considering halves, quarter or 3/4. But in this case, when we will be taking to the nearest measurement unit, mean any unit which is near to the pointer scale, you have to write that. So as this is in this example, it is near to 1/2, then 1/4. So as it is between these 2 points, so we will consider these. And then that is going to be, we will write the approximate one to the nearest. Like here I have another example. You can see at this time the pointer is between 0, this is 0, and this is quarter. So right now the pointer is between 0 and quarter. So I can say the pointer is near to, it is near to quarter kg, then 0 kg, because it is between these two numbers. So I will say it is nearer to quarter kg than 0 kg, as I'm rounding to the nearest measurement unit, not to the nearest kilogram. So it will be nearer to quarter kg than 0 kg. So in that case, the mass will be, approximate mass is going to be, the approximate mass is equal to quarter kg because it is near to the quarter kg. So I will consider this point here. Let's have a look at this example. Now you can see a melon is placed on a mass scale, and the pointer of the melon is between 1/4 and 1/2, but it is near to 1/2 than 1/4. This point is 1/2, and this one is 1/4. So I can say the mass of the melon is closer to 1/2 kg than 1/4 kg. So of course its approximate mass will be 1/2 kg. And in the second one you can see the pointer of the mass scale is pointing between 3 kg and 2 3/4. So I will say the mass of the pumpkin is closer to 2 3/4 than 3 kg. So as it is near to 2 3/4 and we are rounding to the nearest measurement unit. When we are rounding to the nearest measurement unit, then we can write the numbers in quarters and halves as well. So I will say its approximate mass is 2 3/4. Now here on the screen you can see activity book page 93 and we are going to solve it. Before solving, let's read the question. The question is saying find the approximate mass of the following items to the nearest measurement unit. This word is very important. You must have to be careful while reading the statement. If the statement is saying to the nearest measurement unit, then you can write the values in halves, quarters or 3/4. But if it says to the nearest kilogram, as we did in last two lessons, so then you must have to write the whole numbers like 0, 1, 2 and 3 only. Then you cannot write quarters, halves or 3/4. But here we can write because we are rounding to the nearest measurement unit. Like in this first example, in the first question, you can see a sack of onions is placed on the mass scale and the pointer of the mass scale is pointing between at this time it is between 3/4. This one is 3/4. It is 3/4 and 3/2. This point is 3/2. So it is pointing between 3/4 and 3/2. But if you look, it is closer to 3/2. So I will say the mass of the onions is closer to 3/2 than 3/4. So its approximate mass is going to be 3/2. Of course, we will write the approximate mass to the closest one. In the second one here on the screen, you can see there is a fish placed on the mass scale and the pointer of the mass scale is pointing between the number 2. Here is number 2 and this number is 2/4. This number is 2/4. You can see it more clearly on your activity book page 93. So the pointer is between 2 and 2/4. So I will say the mass of the fish is closer to 2/4. It is closer to 2/4 than 2 kg. So approximate mass will be 2/4. As we are rounding to the nearest measurement unit, so we can write 2/4, 3/4 or quarters, halves or 3/4. So there is no restriction for writing them in this case. Now in the next example we have here a radio. The radio is placed on the mass scale and the pointer of the mass scale is pointing between 3/2 and 3 3/4. It is pointing between, this point is 3/2 and this point is 3 3/4. So it is between 3/2 and 3 3/4. So I will say the mass of the radio is closer to, if we look, it is closer to 3 3/4 than 3/2. So its approximate mass is 3 3/4 because it is closer to 3 3/4. So approximate mass will be 3 3/4. In the next example, if we look, the last example on the page, a book or a dictionary. Dictionary is the book you're having the meanings of the words. So a dictionary is placed on a mass scale and the pointer of the mass scale is pointing between 1/4 and 1/2 and 1/2. This point is 1/2 and this is 1/4. So I will say it is near to 1/4. So it is closer to 1/4 than 1/2. So as it is closer to 1/4, so its approximate mass is going to be 1/1/4. So while solving this type of question where you are asked for the nearest measurement unit, then you can write in the form of halves, quarters or three quarters, and the value of the approximate value can also be written in this form like we did here in these examples. But if we have to round to the nearest kg, this difference must be clear now. There are two types of the words used. One is to the nearest kg and the other is to the nearest measurement unit. To the nearest measurement unit. So if this word to the nearest kg is used, then your answer, your values must be in the whole numbers like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 must be the whole number. You cannot use half, quarter or three quarter. But if you are asked for the nearest measurement unit, then you are allowed to use even half, quarters, three quarters and also full number. It depends. Whatever the nearest value of the pointer is, you will write that. In that case, we will not consider, we, we are not bound to use a whole number. So hopefully you understand this lesson, and in the next lesson, inshallah, we will do the estimation, and see you in the next lesson. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.